Hey guys, Paul Michael Kane here with a PMK photo tip and or trick. Today we're going to be working inside of Photoshop, and I have some really cool, well, I have a cool effect for you, but there'll be some really cool tips and tricks along the way as we make this image. I haven't done one of these in a while, and with the holiday break upon us, I'm very excited to jump back into this, and I think you guys will really enjoy what we're going to do with this image. I did want to mention that if you guys haven't yet checked out Lightbox photography cards, please do so at lightboxphotocards.com. We are running a special on the website, and I'm very excited to announce that Lightbox, the macro edition, is currently at the printer. We're in full bore production on it. I got the proofs last week and they are absolutely beautiful. I'm very happy with them. So we're on the way with the second deck in the Lightbox photography cards series. So I'm very excited about that. So let's get into this tutorial and have some fun with some image making. So if you guys have been following me at all, you know I love shooting these kinds of locations. This is the Horton Manor inside of the Sussex County Community College campus. It's a building that they are trying to find funding for restorative efforts, and they've asked me to come in and shoot this location, which was a huge honor for me, and I absolutely loved being in here. I have one or two more floors to shoot. I can't wait to get back in there. But for this image, what I wanted to do was enhance some of the highlights coming through this window. Now you can see we have some going on here. And if I hit this during the right time of day and the room was dusty, we'd have some really cool light rays coming in through this window. So we don't have that. I wasn't there at the right time. I want to go ahead and simulate that here inside of Photoshop, and it's actually deceptively very easy to do. I'm going to show you guys how to do that. Okay, so the first thing we want to do here is get a selection of all the highlights we have in the image. That's a very simple process. We come up here to select and click on color range. Now in the color range dialog box, there is a pull down with a number of choices. We want to select the highlight choices, and then we'll get a graphic representation of those selections here. We can change the range of that selection. We want to make sure that this window is very prominent in this preview here. We don't have to worry about everything that spills out because we'll take care of that once we get the selection working. But I like where we're at here. I'm going to click OK, and you'll see we have now a nice selection of this window. Now we'll deal with everything else, and we're going to use the quick mask tool to utilize getting rid of all of these extra highlights. So once we click on that, you're going to see portions, the selection, your highlights, are now in red. Now the whole image has a red cast to it, so it's kind of hard to see where all the red is happening in here. And this is one of those little extra tips I was talking about. If we double click on the quick mask, we can change the color of the quick mask pixels that you see. I'm going to do it to blue and hit OK. Now we hit the quick mask again. All those selections are now in blue. Now we can take, say, a paintbrush and start painting away. We don't want to paint that big. We can start painting away that selection. All right, I'm going to harden my brush a little bit here. Now we can get rid of everything we see blue that we don't want selected. We got some over here, up here. We're going to, for this nice straight edge, I'm going to click once, hold the shift, and then just drag all the way down. Now you can see my brush is a little big, so I'm going to undo that. Come down a little bit further, harden the brush all the way, and there we go. Now we got rid of all of that. So now we can preview our selection by doing that. So I want to get rid of this stuff too. Just the window is what I want selected. We get that. We got some over here, and we'll get rid of that up there and this little side piece right there. So now we take a quick gander at our image. That's all we have selected, is that window image there. I want to duplicate just these pixels to their own layers. So I'm going to hit Control J. And if I make the background transparent, you'll see we have just the window selected. All right, so this is where the fun begins. I'm going to make my background layer visible again. Now, I want these rays to come in through this light in a logical way. And we have a really cool indication here of the direction of the light by this line of light right here. So I want those rays to go parallel to that light source that we have right in the image. So it's a dead giveaway. It's a wonderful clue, giving us the ability to really mimic the way this light is going to naturally come through this window. So with that said, I'm going to go to Filter, Blur, Motion Blur. Now you can see it comes in right away because I practiced with this, but usually, your motion blurs, you're going to do a smaller blur. We want to really bump this blur up. Here's a preview of that blur. We want to bump this way up because we want this light to come drawing out from this window. We can match the angle right here just by visually pairing it up with this line right here. So we want those lines to go parallel, and I think the 28 was perfect right there. We'll hit 28. Yes, I like that very much. We can see this line right here goes right along with this one, which is actually in the image. And I'm going to click OK. So there's the effect applied to the image. But as you can see, it's a rather weak effect. Next, we have to bump up, or I guess reduce the opacity of this layer. We want to thicken the effect up just a bit. So how we do that is by duplicating this layer. This layer already has some opacity issues. It's very transparent. By duplicating the layer, we're adding less transparency to it. So if we're going to duplicate this, I want to hit Control J. Now, how many times you hit Control J is a creative choice. We're just going to hit it a few times so I can see the effect happen in almost real time. So we're going to hit it once, twice, I think a third time will do it. So we have 3 layers on top of the original layer. So there are 4 layers of this light ray coming through the window. I'm going to then select all of those light ray layers and merge them by hitting Control E. So now we have this wonderful ray of light coming through here. It falls beautifully with the light that is already in the image, but we have this spillage here. I want to get rid of that. And we have this nice hard edge of the window sill. So I'm just going to draw right along that edge, making sure to get all the pixels that are spilling out into the area where it wouldn't be appropriate for light to be spilling out of. Select those and just simply hit delete. Now we've really pushed the image. We're really where I want to be with this effect. I want to blur it just a little bit though. We have these really sharp lines happening. And that's okay. I just want to blur it just a bit. So I'm going to choose now Gaussian blur and just blur it by maybe 3 or 4 pixels. Just so they're not so hard edged in there. Zoom back out. I really like this. What happens if we duplicate it one more time? Nope, see, way too much. So I like where we're at with the opacity of the light rays here. And I would call this one done, except I think we can just further enhance this just a little bit. I have some bokeh brushes. So we have some really cool, let's pick something like this. So with that brush selected, I want to make sure we're painting on a new layer. We don't want to affect the light rays on this layer. In fact, we can double click on that layer and name it light rays, just so we know that that's in fact the layer we do not want to touch. On this new layer, we can take our bokeh, make sure we're painting with white, and click once and drop the opacity of this way back, and then maybe get our eraser tool, soften the edge of the eraser tool, and get rid of some of the ones that are a bit more distracting. We'll do that. Add another blur to that. We'll go to Filter, Blur, Gaussian Blur. We'll just add a little bit of blur to those bits and pieces. And I think we are effectively done with this image. So in 5 minutes, we've taken the image from this, which is a compelling image to be sure, but added some very nice, realistic, atmospheric effects into the image. Very, very happy with this. Hey guys, Paul Michael Kane here again. I just wanted to thank you for watching our video here. It's a lot of fun doing these kinds of things, and I love sharing this kinds of the little tips and tricks I come up with along the way. So I wanted to thank you for watching. Wish you guys a very happy Thanksgiving that just passed yesterday. And here we come into the Christmas holidays. So the very merriest of Christmases and very happiest of holidays to everybody. Do check out, when you get a chance, lightboxphotocards.com. We have the new macro deck coming out in the next few months. I'm very excited about this whole Lightbox thing. We're building a big brand around this. I'm very excited to be able to reach out on a global scale and teach, not even teach, just inspire the craft of photography for everyone who's watching and picking up the cards. It's an amazing experience. I wanted to thank you guys again, once again, personally, for all the wonderful support, kind words, encouragement, emails, everything that you guys do. Just know that I appreciate everything. It's been an amazing year, and here we go into 2016 and the next month and a half, and it's just, I can't wait to see where all this goes. So thank you guys once again. Let me hear from you in the comments below. Do subscribe to the video. I hope to do a lot more of these in the next coming months. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you again soon.